The first episode of She-Hulk, Attorney at Law, is now on Disney+, and it's making us look at the past, present, and future of the Marvel Cinematic Universe in a whole new light. Jenna here, ready to break down the biggest Easter eggs and Marvel comic references in Episode 1 of She-Hulk. So grab your hot Cheetos and chopsticks, make sure you're subscribed to the Phase Zero YouTube channel, and let's dive in. The episode opens with Jen Walters in her day job as Deputy District Attorney in Los Angeles, an occupation she holds for the vast majority of the original Savage She-Hulk run. Joining her in preparing for an upcoming case is her paralegal best friend Nikki Ramos, as well as fellow lawyer Dennis Buck Bukowski. Dennis is one of Jen's biggest rivals in Savage She-Hulk, with his cocky and sexist personality always pushing her buttons at work. Dennis also develops an animosity towards She-Hulk, who he initially doesn't realize is Jen, blaming her for the accidental death of her best friend Jill. When Jen stresses out about her closing arguments, Nikki suggests that she can always do her Savage Jen Walters face, which Jen swears she does not have. Not only is this a nod to the title of her aforementioned solo run, but it plays with the comic-accurate relationship that Jen often has with her angrier, savage She-Hulk personality, usually being embarrassed by her or seeing her as a completely different character. Jen then breaks the fourth wall and talks directly to the audience, a thing she has been synonymous with doing since the sensational She-Hulk run of the late 1980s. It's important to note that she started breaking the fourth wall several years before Deadpool even entered the comic scene, and decades before shows like Fleabag helped bring the trope into the mainstream. We see a flashback to Jen and her cousin, Bruce Banner, who is recounting how his arm got injured in the Battle of Avengers Endgame. As they talk about Jen's theory that Steve Rogers died, or went to live on the moon, as a virgin.
Some people, they think that he's in the secret base on the moon, looking down over us.
Well, I can assure you those people you don't have to take seriously.
But you didn't, fly him to the moon? Nah.
More on that in a minute. Jen's car gets run off the road by the arrival of a spaceship. Bruce later confirms that it was a Sicarian vessel wanting to deliver a message to him, which has already sparked a mountain of theories about whether or not Hulk's comic-accurate son Scar might have entered the picture while Bruce was stuck in space. We'll just have to wait and see. The car accident leads to Jen getting her powers, as the gamma radiation in Bruce's blood accidentally enters her bloodstream when they both get injured. This is wildly different from her origin in the comics, where she gets shot by mobsters working for crime boss Nicholas Trask, and Bruce saves her life by giving her a blood transfusion. Honestly, this new origin works a lot better within the context of the MCU, and it adds a whole new level to Jen's reluctance to be a Hulk, much less a spandex-wearing superhero. After the accident, Jen ends up in Bruce's beachside Mexico retreat, which he built with Tony Stark during the 5 years of the blip. While Bruce says Tony spent the majority of his time there drinking and complaining about Steve, Tony still managed to put his stamp on the place, carving his name into the bar and even having a battle-damaged Iron Man helmet on display. Bruce, Jen, and the audience discover that Jen's gamma-infused blood had the power to heal Bruce's injured arm, meaning that the show definitely takes place after Shang-Chi's post-credits scene, but not in the way that we were expecting. In a cousin versus cousin fight later in the episode, Jen is seen sporting an outfit that's almost identical to the one that she wore in Sensational She-Hulk number 5, albeit with a little bit of a different t-shirt. Bruce also does his trademark thunderclap, which we haven't properly seen on screen since 2008's The Incredible Hulk. The end of the episode introduces us to Titania, one who is very different from her first appearance in the Secret Wars comics, but who clearly still isn't afraid to tussle with Jen. The two of them get into a fight that briefly but brilliantly calls back to their iconic courtroom tussle in Solo Avengers number 14. And finally, the episode's post-credit scene addresses Jen's theory about Steve Rogers, with Bruce revealing that Steve did not die a virgin. He actually lost his virginity to a girl on the USO tour in 1942. Jen's reaction from there is easily one of the funniest scenes that the MCU has put out in recent memory. Trust me. Overall, She-Hulk Episode 1 is a ridiculous and heartfelt intro to Jen Walters, both the human side of her and the powerful superhero that she's about to become. And come on, Tatiana Maslany and Mark Ruffalo's dynamic is absolutely infectious to watch. What did you think of Episode 1 of She-Hulk? Do you have a favorite Easter egg from the episode? Share your thoughts in the comments below, tweet them my way at HeyIt'sJennaLynn, and don't forget to subscribe to the Phase Zero YouTube channel for all your latest Marvel updates.